All right. So welcome in, everybody. I'm Marcy, and Lindsay, wave down there, because you might be there. That's Lindsay. And tonight we just wanted to give you, I was going to give you an overview of what the 21-Day Fix program is and how it works. And then I wanted to have Lindsay share her story because it's quite incredible. She amazes me every day that I see her. She just, I literally call her my incredible shrinking woman. Her determination and just will to want to change has caused a lot of it, in addition to the program, because the program is seriously foolproof as long as you stick to it. So what the 21-Day Fix program is all about is it's all about portion control and understanding your foods. So for example, a lot of us will overeat, even if it's healthy. So say you put a giant chicken breast on your plate, you don't need all that chicken. You can overeat healthy foods and then have the same adverse effect as eating the crap. Now, will the weight gain be as significant? Probably not, but you are still going to have weight gain because of your overeating. What this program does is, you've probably seen pictures, or you may have seen it on TV, it's got containers. So for example, we have vegetable container, fruit container, proteins, carbs. I know everyone freaks out at this one, it's so little. Healthy fats, and then seeds and oils. We get 2 of these, and then we also get teaspoons for like peanut butter and other types of things. But what happens is, depending upon, there's a calculation depending on your current weight. So you do an entire calculation, and we break it down into container counts by day. I know it's a little hard to see, but depending on your weight and where you fall into the calculation, it's based on calorie count. So the lowest is 1,200 to 1,400 or 1,500. And we never really want to go below 1,200 calories a day. Why? Because just to exist, for your internal organs to exist, for your lungs, your heart to pump, there is a base metabolic rate that you have to consume, right? Because if you don't, you're going to be tired. Your body's going to think it's starving, and it's actually going to hold on to all foods that you eat, creating the opposite effect of what you're going for. So eating is important. And then we have the top category, that's like 2,300 calories and things like that. I actually live in this area now, right? I started here to lose the baby weight, and I live here because of my activity level. But so you can see each one has a different breakdown of containers. So for the, let's say the 1,200 calorie range, you get 3 veggies, 2 fruits, 4 proteins, 2 carbs, 1 healthy fat, 1 dressing, and 2 teaspoons. And yes, you need to eat all of these in one day. I know these seem small, but you will find, I'm sure Lindsay will also tell you, that getting all these in a day is incredibly difficult. And what the key to the program is that you're eating every 2 hours. So you're not just eating 3 big meals. You're eating every 2 hours, and you're eating 1 or 2 of these mixed together. So you don't have to eat like just all of these together, right? You could make vegetables and you could make chicken and put them together in a meal. So there's all kinds of combinations of things that you can do. I struggle with this one. I don't like vegetables, so I struggle with this one. Protein, not a problem. But so you go through and you plan out your day based on this. And the great thing about social media now is Pinterest has 5,000 recipes that are called 21-Day Approved. You just put in 21-Day Fix. Tons of things come up. We have a cookbook called Fixate that has recipes, and they've got the calorie counts in them. So it makes making food easy. Another cool thing that we get, and I provide, it's breakdown that I found easier, is it's kind of a cheat sheet. So it takes each food group and it lists out your best options. So for example, for protein, it's the chicken and ground turkey. The least of them would be like turkey bacon. So it bases them on your top choices or the most preferred choices, down to those that, you know what, if you could go without, go without. The carbs one is, the big one. So you want to go for your sweet potato, quinoa versus your breads, things like that. So it makes it super simple. Another great thing like that, I find that the program's easy. I've never dieted. I used to go through life saying, I work out, I teach classes, I'm just going to work out to eat. After the second kid, it was like, oh, no, you can't do that anymore. So that's why I did the fix and kind of reset my mind and understand what eating clean can do. It completely changes how your body works. You find out it fuels it way easier and way better for you. But you also get, this is the PDF version. I know Lindsay probably has the pretty book version, but it is tons and tons of pages of information. So when you first get your kit, you read through all of this and it tells you exactly everything that you need to do. You don't, I mean, I'm here to answer questions and, you know, Lindsay and stuff like that, but this breaks it down into the most simplest form I think is possible. Now, you know, you probably see me talk about Shakeology. That is, you can do it with Shakeology. Lindsay did it without. A lot of people do it with Shakeology. Sorry, Mason, please stop. Life of a mom. But so Shakeology for me counts as my one red container and my one purple container, because the red is the Shakeology, that's a protein. And Shakeology is more than a protein drink. Don't think of it just as that. It's got 70 superfoods in it. It gets your vitamins, your nutrients, quinoa, I mean, maca root, anything you can think of is in here, and it's all natural. So that makes it easier for me. And I don't have time to eat breakfast, so I just grab it and go. And that's my container. So that's an option. But I know Lindsay did it without. I had people do it both way, and they both have success on it. So it's either one. That's basically the program in a nutshell. You also get, I mean, the main part of it is the eating plan, but the secondary part is workout videos, right? Because we always want to couple eating right and working out, because that's where you maximize your results. So the workouts are only 30 minutes long, which is perfect for busy people, right? 30 minutes, you bust them out, and they are intense. You know, there's some resistance training in there. There's plyometric training. There's core work. There's everything in 30 minutes. So you're working your entire body every day with your one rest day built in. So it's not just isolation exercises. So you'll work up a sweat. And the creator, Autumn Calabrese, does both of them. She also has a modifier in each one of them. So if you've got an injury, or, you know, you're just not ready for the high intensity, she's going to show you how to do the low intensity. Now you can do other workouts outside of that, but it's a great opportunity if you're just getting started to get comfortable with, you know, everything that's going on. So that's my part. So I'll turn it over to Lindsay, and then you can ask any questions, technical type stuff of me when we get at the end. But so I'll introduce you to Lindsay. I don't even remember when we met. It was a little while ago. She came into my body pump class. I was taking class for a while, and I think I mentioned, you know, I'm a coach and I do 21-day fix. She came up to me and she said, you know, I want to try it. So we talked. And then when she got it, I remember saying, and I didn't even really know her that well. It's like, she's like, I don't know if I might give up. I might quit. I was like, if you quit, I will punch you in the face. And I meant it, because I knew she could do it. Then at the end of round 1, we lost 16 pounds. At the end of round 2, we were at 20 some pounds. So as of today, we're at 47.5 pounds, and that's 4 rounds, right? So it takes a while to put weight on. It's going to take time to get it off. But she is stuck to the program. I know she did some strict rounds the first time, and now she's giving herself a little bit more leniency, right? Because she's getting to where she wants to be. So I'm going to turn it over to Lindsay. You can tell them about yourself and all that good stuff.
So I'm not really sure where to begin. I've never done anything this before. So like she say, a body pump class a couple times. You mentioned 21. Once I started doing the classes and you're surrounded by the mirrors everywhere, I realized that I needed to do something. I've honestly struggled with my weight and body image from the time I was probably 7 years old. I've just never been able to look in the mirror and be happy with myself. Even when I was 140 pounds and 5'9". So anyways, I decided to give 21 Day Fix a shot. I've done tons of dieting in the past. I've done Weight Watchers. I've done starvation. I've done, literally everything. And within probably a month or less, I had given up. So I got through the first round of 21 Day Fix, lost a bunch of weight, and it just kind of built. The motivation kind of built from there. And I felt like I just needed to keep going since I'd lost the weight. So I did a first round, I did a second round, then I did a third round. And for the first time in my entire life, since I could 7 years old, I was able to look in the mirror and not hate myself, and not be disgusted with what I saw. And so it's been a program that's worked for me. I've been pretty big into working out for at least a few years and never really lost any weight. I would run half marathons, triathlons, work out 6 days a week, 2 hours a day, and literally never lost weight. After gaining a ton of weight in college. And those pictures are not up on Facebook for everyone to see. So Emily, for the first time, it took me literally 31 years to get to a place where I could look in the mirror and not hate myself and be happy with what I saw. So I definitely can appreciate Marcy for motivating me to do that. And obviously the fix just worked. I'm not a Beachbody coach, so I'm not trying to sell anything at all. So first thing that's ever worked for me in my whole life. So what else am I supposed to say?
So in terms of getting your food ready, what did you focus on? Like, did you find it hard or was it pretty easy?
So the first probably 2 weeks. So when I got the containers, I had a minor panic attack, because they're tiny. And the first 2 weeks, honestly, once I would say even the first day, it was really hard to get in all of my containers. I think I was at the 5 vegetables. I was in the highest one. And so I found myself like having no food any second that I could. And it was really difficult. Once I started learning the foods that I liked and being able to combine like a red with a green, and like, the yellows and all of that, and determine what I didn't hate, it was really easy. So I can now do my prep literally in like an hour. Like I've learned to be able to just stick everything in the oven. I know what I like, I know what I don't like. And the prep is honestly not bad at all. No. And I'm enjoying the food, which is not expected.
And to her point about food prep, so when you're first getting started, I think on this fix, keeping it simple is the best way to go. So I know I can eat the same foods over and over, and I know Lindsay does too, but you know what? We found that those types of foods work for us and they fuel our body and they give us the results. So my recommendation on those first, at least the first round, maybe even into the second, just keep the same basic food groups going throughout. And then as you start to get more comfortable and get a better understanding of the program, then branch out into other things. Would you say that's the same?
So when I first started, I was doing strictly like grilled chicken, raw vegetables, raw fruits. And now I'm doing like all sorts of like fancy meals and not fancy for me, like grilled vegetables and Brussels sprouts and spaghetti squash and different types of meats. And but the first, I would say probably even 1.5 to 2 rounds. Yeah, I was just doing the very basic, easy to prepare foods. Sometimes ones that, just like the raw stuff.
Right.
2 kinds of protein, and that was really it.
Cool. And another cool thing, and I know
but
Lindsay goes, I would love
much
to go
easier, like as you go.
Sorry, I cut you off. But I was going to say, you do get to, so we recommend that you stay strict on the first round at least, right? Because like Lindsay said, if you don't see results, we tend as humans, we're like, well, this isn't working, I'm done, right? But your body's got to adjust. So as you get more comfortable, this little guy can be your best friend because you can save him and have a treat. So that could be a glass of wine, that could be a cookie or two, or, so this carb can be saved throughout the week to give you that drink. If you can stay away from it to maximize your results up front, that's perfect. But we have things come up. We have work events. You may need to eat something that you weren't planning for. So this guy can come to the rescue. And a lot of times I know we're so scared because everyone drills in our head that carbs are bad. They are not bad. They are what fuel your system to do your workouts, right? If you don't have carbs, there is no energy. So when you hit the floor to do your push-ups or your squats or whatever it is, your body's going to say, there's no way. What am I going to do? And then you know what happens then? It starts going into your muscle and tearing down the muscle rather than going to the energy store of a carb. So they are important. And I know everyone on the fix is like, Marcy, that's way too many carbs. I'm just going to cut them out. And I know Lindsay struggled at them at first because she's not a big carb eater in general, but there's
I am.
The bad carbs.
Yeah, the bad ones. It was the good carbs that were the problem.
So once you find something that works, you'll be able to get them in. I still sub these out every now and I'm like, all right, because Friday's pizza night in our house. So I work around it and I save these and, you just do what you got to do. Trying to think of what else. So you did a combination of workouts. You did the gym and you started doing more of the videos now just to switch it up. Do you like the videos? Are they good?
So for probably the entirety of round 2, I did almost entirely just videos. And I was doing a 21-day fix video, but I started doing 2 a day. So I was doing 21-day fix videos and I also was doing PiYo. And I loved them. I didn't think that they would give me a solid workout, but she's no joke. Yeah, no, she's serious. And, for those of you that may take class with me or take a class with your favorite instructor, we as instructors kind of know when you're dying and we know when to pick you up. Somehow that woman knows exactly the moment when you're ready to quit because I use some of her other videos, hammer and chisel line, and that moment in my head when I'm like, I'm done, she's right there. And it's not the annoying kind, it's the kind that's going to push you to the limit. So I know some videos are like, they're just up there looking pretty and doing their thing, but she's about getting you the results that you want. So and she also does look pretty. Yes, she does. So you could get your husbands and or boyfriends working out because there are small outfits and lots to see. But that's besides the point. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I know Lindsay has shared with me some kind of her meal plans, so I can always share that with you, the types of foods that she eats. Like I said, I eat basically the same thing. I cut out a lot of processed meats. So some keys are getting some rotisserie chickens or rotisserie turkeys, shredding those up. Eggs are your go-to protein. So there's other simple ways that you can throw them together. I know some of you are moms that are busy and finding out time to make your food. Once you get your prep when you understand it, mine's about an hour or 2 because I'm multitasking, or sometimes on Friday night I'll make something while something else is going. I'm making the eggs or something like that. So you'll find ways to build it in. That's the key, is prep. And then another thing is when you do a 21-day fix, you get me to help you along the way. I know there's times that Lindsay's wanted, she's having a bad day, or I have one of my best friends doing it and she's like, oh crap, I'm going out to dinner. I wasn't planning on going out to dinner. What do I eat? So, I'll give you some recommendations along the way. So you get support. We also have the challenge group that I know Lindsay and Gina are part of, where you check in every day with what you're eating. So it's not only just a program. You're not just going to get a program and I'm going to say, see you later. You're going to hear from me every week, even if you don't want to. And there's days where I check in with people and I don't hear from them for a few days. And then they're like, yeah, I've been bad. So it happens, life gets in the way. But what I say is it's 21 days. It's 3 weeks of your life. You can do that. And literally it does take 21 days to form a habit. So if you can get through those first 21 days, it's just going to become part of your life. And me personally, like I said, I met Lindsay at the gym, so I didn't know a lot of her backstory, but seeing the girl that I met those first few times is not the person that I know now. You can see it in her face. She's happy. She walks into the gym smiling. She's standing taller. She's a different person. So it's not always about weight. It's always about
you and what you feel inside and how you feel. And yes, sometimes it starts with the weight because that's what we externally see. But I mean, the person she's become is incredible. I'm very glad to call her a good friend, and we chat back and forth. We're texting. So it's changing your life. It really is. And I know that sounds cheesy and cliche, but it really is. This has changed my life. I love coaching people. So, you're getting someone that loves what they're doing too. Do any of you have specific questions, or is there anything I can answer about the program itself or Shakeology or anything else? You can unmute.
For like like I know you do the Shakeology, but like at home we have the Isopure, the low carb protein shakes.
Mhm.
So would that be like one of the proteins?
Yep.
Because I usually only do like a half a shake, because if I do a whole one, my stomach just hurts.
Sure. And you might have a whey issue. I have issues with whey, so I went to the vegan Shakeology. So maybe experiment with whey and the soy. But yes, the other proteins, that's a red. So
Okay.
anything that's whey, hemp, rice, or pea protein will be a red. And
Yeah,
you would just use
this doesn't have any soy or anything like that in it.
Yeah. So one scoop of Shakeology is equivalent to this.
Okay.
And then, for example, I use almond milk in mine. When you're making it in Shakeology, Autumn, the creator of the program, lets you have it as a freebie if it's 8 ounces. So you don't have to count that as one of your containers because it's such a minimal amount. If I was just sitting and chugging milk or something, then it would count as a container. And then my banana is my fruit for the day, or for a fruit container.
Okay.
And I don't use Shakeology. I use Complete Nutrition Protein Shake. And I use probably more than 8 ounces of vanilla almond milk, and then frozen fruit and kale.
Yeah, that's good. So you got another veggie in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like the kale would count towards your veggie.
Yeah, that's number 1 on the list.
Using that smoothie maker, that smoothie blender this morning, I was so happy. I was like,
blender is key.
Oh, and I didn't wake up the kids. Great.
Any other questions?
I don't have a question. I guess more of a comment. Being that I can't really do the things I was doing before, I think this is seeming very interesting to me. I mean, I feel like I eat pretty well in general. Maybe I'm not losing the weight. Maybe I don't have as much to lose, but there's still weight to be lost. I mean, as I've told you, I'm going into pants and now they're too big, but I'm not losing the weight. And I know if I lose 5 pounds, it would make all the difference because I'm down to my last 10. But clearly there's something that's not lining up between my working out and my eating, because I feel like I would see more results. And being now that I can't really
exercise,
I think, probably tomorrow or the next day, I mean, I got to keep my foot propped up like half the day or more. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm going to start doing something, but it's not going to be anywhere near what I was doing before. So if my eating is not right,
yeah,
I'm going to have a big problem in a couple months, and it's just going to tear apart all the work that I've put into this moment.
Yeah.
And like Lindsay, you said that you had done Weight Watchers before. That's the only way I had lost weight before. I was always slim and skinny, like as a kid, and I didn't realize how skinny I really was. And as I got older, I had a sit-down job and just slowly packed on the pounds. I was up 30 pounds or more. And so I did the Weight Watchers because I never knew how to lose weight, And with Weight Watchers, okay, that worked, but you understand what's good for you in a sense and what's not. But I could eat 3 pieces of pizza and some other junk for the day and still fall within my points for the day. It wasn't really teaching you what you need to be eating to fuel your body to get the most results. So I've been thinking about doing the 21-day fix, and I think it sounds like for me, like now would really be the time, because I need someone to help me prep food, even in general, just maneuvering in the house. So if I think this would work well for me. Say, Mom, come over, help me get to the grocery store. Let's prep these foods, and then I can just grab them and go. I don't have to worry about cooking and trying to be in the kitchen and figuring out what I'm going to eat every day. It's already figured out for me.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point that you brought up about Weight Watchers is, you can have a bowl of ice cream and just call it a day. And at the end of the day, that's not teaching you any sort of lifestyle. And so now I'm eating I'm like fueling my body with the things that I should be fueling it with. And I have a lot more energy. And obviously like I'm like toned now versus, I've lost weight with, but Nelly saw like the right spots. But now I'm like, losing all of the inches as well and gaining muscle. And I mean, I can only attribute that to the food, to the diet, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's key, because once you pair the eating with all of these amazing workouts you're doing, that's when you really start to see the toning, like she said. Because remember, on all of our muscles, everyone has the same muscles. They live there, but oftentimes they're covered by that layer of fat. And once we cut down that layer of fat, that's when you start getting the lean, toned muscles. So even in Lindsay's pictures, as the progression goes, her shoulders are coming out, her rear delts and her triceps. And a lot of that is body pump and, her other workouts. But they were always there. And she lifts, honestly, she puts up more weight than I do on my bar in class. She outlifts me. And now that muscle definition is coming out because the fat has gone away. And Lindsay, the other Lindsay, to your point, yes, I originally started the fix to get rid of those last pounds from Wyatt, my son. I was very fortunate. I worked out until I was 37 weeks. So the weight came off fast, but then I still had this layer that I was insecure about on my belly. And after the 2 rounds that I did, it was gone. And I'm able to maintain it now. So once you get to a maintenance level, so once Lindsay hits her target weight, then we add in an additional, there's another formula that you do for maintenance. Because remember, I said I live up in that 2,000 calorie range. I'm lifting a lot more. I'm doing another program with weightlifting, and I've got Body Combat, and I've got things like that. So you continue to follow this program. Because people say to me, well, you're skinny. Why are you following this program? Because I eat the right foods. You know what? Because honestly, I will eat 2 chicken breasts in one sitting because I love chicken, So it's a matter of just training my brain. And when I get off focus, I will be like, you know what? We're going strict again. And I'll cut my containers back till I feel better. And then we go back to maintenance phase. And one other thing with this, whatever fits in this bad boy, you get to eat. So you shred your chicken, you chop up your veggies, whatever you want. As long as it fits and the lid snaps, that's what you get to eat. That's one portion of it. So there's lots of little fixes, throughout the way. But it is a great way to kickstart yourself or get off the final pounds that have been hanging around. I know Eric's on the call. He's lost 60 pounds on his own, which is amazing. And watching his change in class has been pretty cool too. And he's like, we've been stuck for a little while. So he's trying it to see, let's re-kick this and restart the system and come at the food in a different way and see if we get more results out of it. So I'll be excited to see how his story goes. I know he just started this week. So there's a lot of support. And like I said, Eric, are you there?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, true what Marcy said. I lost about 60 pounds on my own, and I was part of the bariatric program. I was going to have surgery, and I, like others, I've tried a whole bunch of things. I couldn't lose weight, so I just finally decided I had enough. So I lost 60 pounds, but I plateaued, and that's when I started to hear Lindsay's story, and she was telling me about it, and I just need something to get over this hump now. I'm on my 4th day, and it's getting easier to fit all the containers in.
Right.
At first, I looked at the containers. I'm going to be starving. But actually, I'm eating all the time. I tell my wife, I'm eating more now than I was before.
Yep.
And, today, the closest to getting all my containers in. And I don't know. It's my first week, so I can't say how much weight I've lost or if I've lost any. But, I do feel a difference in, like Marcy was saying, the food that's going in my mouth. It feels like I'm burning it more efficiently than if I was just eating the wrong food. So, and I have a little bit more energy this week at Body Pump. So, because I'm also, I work out like 9 times a week. So I do Body Pump, I do cycling, I do grit, I do body combat. So I'm pretty active. So right now, thank God. So, but yeah, I'm hoping this gets me over the hump.
I think it will. And to your point, of energy, right? You said you may have been under eating at the time. So now you're eating just what your body needs. So you'll be able to go harder in your workouts and things like that. That's the cool thing.
So is everyone else already started, or am I the only one on the first week?
You're the only one on the call on the first week, I believe.
I've never done it before, though.
Yeah, we have a few that have never done it. So it's just I just want to give some feedback and, about how Lindsay did. And I know we have another girl that just started, and she lost 3 pounds in her first week, and it's cool. So we're moving on.
Now,
Yeah,
when
I'm
you
a
guys
witness
do
to
the,
Lindsay's success.
oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I'm a witness to Lindsay's success there.
Now, when you guys do like your food prep, you take, your different containers for, your day and just put them into your prepping containers then?
Yep.
So like you have your lunch and everything like that divided up and, okay.
Yeah, and sometimes I literally will just take these containers because I just portion them out the night before. Like my veggies and my hummus, like hummus goes in here and avocado and stuff like that. So I just take these so that I'm not doing multiple dishes. But for the ground turkey and that's all away, and then just portion it out. And yes, you literally measure these things out until you really understand how the process works, because your eye will fool you every time. So you could even do an experiment. So say you started the program, put on your plate what you would normally eat, and then go in and measure it. And I bet you 9 times out of 10, it's going to be more than you thought it would ever be. And that,
Yep.
That's what happens. That's why. And one more great thing about this program is it also has a restaurant guide. So if you're going out, you can look at, it lists like the major foods that happen in a restaurant, and it gives you the container counts. But my recommendation is when you get the food delivered to you, just cut it in half and put half in a to-go bin, because if it's in front of you, you're going to eat it, right? And they always overserve us. So just cut everything in half and put it away and eat it another day. So that's always a good tip. Even salads, they're ginormous. There's no need for your salad to be that big. Is there any other
You got a
questions?
restaurant down? You got a restaurant down?
Sue.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sue.
So I guess, for me, my husband's had a couple of health scares this year, and for him, he holds a lot of weight, and he eats very clean, but I think he probably eats a little bit over. So I was interested in the program, more so for him than for myself, because, I work out a lot, so I pretty much can burn anything with my current metabolism. So I'm more looking at for him. But I think my concern is I hear you all saying, and I've seen them, how small these containers are. So what is the I guess the amount of time it takes you not to crave outside of the containers? Like, because I feel that that's where the failure is probably going to come with him, is if he feels he's not getting enough food or is so used to eating, like pulling that container of peanuts and eating that as a snack or whatever. If the containers are so small, is he going to have enough within the day? I hear you saying it's hard to get it in, but is there like a window of time it takes, like, to mentally talk yourself into, I can only eat these containers? Because I think that's the hardest part. It has, I guess, like more so like for Lindsay or for Eric, has it been like a mental game of, I got to change the way I'm eating? Have you had to like sit and talk to yourself for a period of time, or did it instantly start to turn and you were like, okay, I'm getting enough food, I'm not hungry, I'm not craving that stuff anymore?
I would say so first of all, the containers look small, but you're combining them. So I'll have like a green, a red, and a yellow in one sitting. And then you get several of those throughout the day. So while one yellow might look small, you're combining it with 2 other containers. So the portions actually aren't that small. You're putting it into a much larger Tupperware. I don't use I only use the Fix Tupperwares just to measure out my portions, and then I pour them into a big one. And in terms of training my brain, it took me probably a good 2, maybe even through the first round, to stop craving everything. And then I started feeling really good about the food that I was eating.
And you saw the change too, which helped a lot too at that point.
And I still, from time to time am craving stuff, but I'm actually genuinely enjoying the food and feeling like this could potentially be a long-term lifestyle.
Eric, from a male perspective, what would you say?
For me, the transition hasn't been hard because from what I was eating to what I'm eating now, it was very similar. I have a sweet tooth, but the one thing that I wasn't doing before here, I was not eating enough food. Now that satisfies my sweet tooth. And like I said, I feel like I'm eating all the time. So right now that I don't have cravings, I'm actually sitting at the dinner table with my hand in my head, trying to finish the green containers. So it's like, am I done eating yet? But I still have food. So for me, I haven't gotten to the point where I'm craving food. So I've been able to space my food throughout the day. That I don't feel hungry. I mean, you're gonna want something, but again, the fruit for me has been what's kind of kept it good for me because I like watermelon, I like strawberry, so those are my go-to things. And also for myself, I'm a creature of habit. So what I did was I went through the book and I looked at all the food and I picked out what I like. So then that's what I've based my meal plan through, just like I did before. Before I would have my cornflakes in the morning, my California tortilla salad, and then some protein and some, whatever else for dinner. And I ate that for 6 months straight. That's all and I can do that. I just can do something like that. So right now I've taken that same approach. For example, this is my breakfast this morning. I had the oatmeal steel cut with blueberries, strawberries, and banana.
Wow.
And then I had, in about an hour and a half later, 2 hours later, I had my 2 eggs and some grilled chicken that I had already had prepared. So that took care of a whole bunch. And then comes my snack about 2 hours after that. So, I have enough food within the system that I don't feel hungry.
Right.
So for me, it's been okay.
Yeah.
And I'm a big guy, so I'm at the top range of the calorie intake as well.
Yeah. And Sue, I mean, from probably, I know for me, the first week, and I hear a lot of people say the first week is hard. Sometimes they're hungry because you're retraining your brain. But if you can stay on them, and if anything, if you're hungry, what we recommend adding is a veggie first, and then a protein to fill you up. Also, I know you have some other programs, but Shakeology could probably be a good thing for him. John, my husband, he refuses to work out. It kills me, but I at least got him started drinking Shakeology since January, and he's probably down 18 pounds. Hasn't changed anything else. For him, I'm getting a good breakfast in for him, and it keeps him full. So that might be an option because he looks at it. He is a milkshake. Like his is thick and ugh, but he loves it. And however he makes it, and he loves it, and it's working, I'll take it. So that might be an option for you too. And on the food list, like Eric was saying, each one has about 10 to 12 different options that you can pick in each container. And those are just recommendations based on, the creator's expertise in the nutrition and what you're going to get out of it. So there's lots of options in there. So it's not always just, sweet potato for carbs. There's all kinds of different things. And I mean, it is a change, but I think there's enough variety for a man to stay with it, because I know they sometimes aren't as good about eating the same foods over and over again. They want, big and pretty on the table. I think it's just a visual thing. I don't know. I've noticed that though.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Good question. Very good question.
Can you just explain a little bit more about the chart? Like, because I'm thinking if I'm not, say, working out 4, 5, 6 times a week as hard as Lindsay, or is it based on like your height and weight or your ideal weight, or
Yes.
also on your fitness, how
Yeah, so-
active you are?
So what we do is we take your current weight and we times it by the number 11, and that gives us your caloric baseline. So that's the number of calories that your body needs to operate, basically, right? And then we take that and we add 400, and 400 is based on the calorie burn in the 21-day fix workouts. So depending on your workout, it could be more. And then to lose weight, you need to eat at a deficit. So then we take that and we minus it, subtract it by 750, and that gives you your deficit. So then you fall into these containers. I think you would probably fall into this first one where I am, this 1,200 to 1,400. I think because you won't be as active too, it would be good. I mean, I was active in here, but to get the weight off, that's where I needed to be based on my starting weight. So that's 3 veggies, 2 fruits, 4 proteins, 2 carbs, 1 fat, 1 salad dressing, and 2 oils or nut butters or something like that. But yeah, like I said, we don't really want to go below that. Even if you're sedentary and you're not sedentary, your body knows what to do. And we're going to get you some upper body workouts to do. But, I think that's where you would probably hang out.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I just have a comment about that. I'm doing the extreme version, so
yeah,
the calculations are a little different.
Yeah, so the extreme version that Eric's referencing, and I know Lindsay moved over to that one too, is there's no cheats. There's no subbing out your yellows for anything. The workouts are a little bit harder. It's just tighter. That's to really, so a lot of times when you get through the 21-day fix, you might be like, all right, I need another challenge. So you can move on to that, or you can move on to, different workouts. And the key is, this is the meal. And honestly, the cool thing about the 21-day fix program is now starting to get incorporated, the containers, so to speak, in all the new programs that are coming out. You don't get all of the amazing knowledge. I mean, in this book, when I printed it, I think it's like 80 some pages. It's a thick book. It's not just like a quick guide. There is one, but it's a doozy. Like, you sit and read it. But they're also starting to include, they're seeing how good portion control and how much success people are having it. So we get these containers in Hammer and Chisel and 22 Hardcore. So they're trying to transcend. And one last thing I forgot about, you get these cool things and there's an app. So this is the key to success, is actually tracking what you eat. You mark off each container, because in your head you're like, oh, I had 2. No, you had 4. So this is successful, because that's why in my challenge group you all give me your food every day. It's to keep you accountable. This keeps you accountable. So that's another thing. You can plan all your meals and all that good stuff.
Marcy, I got to get ready to sign off. This was very helpful. Thank you all for
You're
sharing.
welcome.
I will talk with you
Sure.
by Messenger, talk about this further and workouts that I can start doing.
Absolutely.
So, again, thank you guys so much. But I do have to go. I got to ice my leg and
Good luck with your
get
foot.
comfortable because I've been sitting in the same spot for too long. So,
Take care.
all right. See you guys later.
Bye.
Does anyone have any more questions? Are you good? And feel free to message me. I can always get, if you have specific questions about what Lindsay did that you think about later, we can get, in a 3-way message on Facebook Messenger and go from there. I know she's shy about her success, so you kind of got to pry it out of her.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, thank you all so much for joining in and listening. And you can always try it and return it. If it doesn't work, you can return it. That's a great thing about Beachbody compared to a lot of other things. You buy it, it's yours. Now you can return it up to 30 days and get a full refund. So no harm, no foul in trying. All right. Have a great night. Message me, call me, text me, whatever you need.
Bye.
Bye, guys.